My name is Frederick. I go to Eastern Kentucky University, and today I'm going to be talking with you about Little Rock 9. Uh, Little Rock 9 was an event in the process of school desegregation during the Civil Rights Movement, and it involved 9 African American students during the Civil Rights Movement when racism was at an all-time high. And the 9 students were the first to desegregate an all-white school. A quote by Melba Brown I have. She states, "I tried to see a friendly face somewhere in the mob, someone who may or would help. I looked in the face of an old woman, seeing a kind face, but when I turned away and looked back, the woman spit in my face." This is a quote from Melba Brown and some of the things the 9 students endured during the process of trying to get into the school and while going to the school. They had 3 attempts of trying to get into the school. The first attempt came on September 4th, 1957, when the 9 children tried to enter the school but were turned away by Arkansas's National Guard troops called by Governor Favis. Of the 9 students, Melba Bell, she was the first to get to the school. And again, she was yelled at, cursed at, and spit at. And she was the one, the quote I just reiterated during that time, she was the one that said she looked into the crowd and she was looking for a kind face for someone to help her, and she turned and seen a kind face of this old woman. And this old woman, when she turned away and looked back, the old woman spit in her face. So, I mean, as a child, she endured this, just trying to go to school to get a free education. The students got there, they were not able to enter the school, so they were sent home. That's the first attempt. The second attempt came on September 23rd, 1957. The 9 students tried re-entering the school, and the crowd outside went insane, because this time they did get into the school, and the crowd just was going into a riot because they did not want the 9 black students in the school with their kids. So to not cause a riot and to settle everything down, the police had to go in and get the students and take them out. So they were not able to finish a whole day of school. So this again was a failure of trying to enter the school. So the students were sent home and for 2 weeks, and during this time they would have to catch up their work and get work the best way they could, just to stay ahead of everyone and not be able behind and have excuses of why they would be kicked out of school. The third attempt came on September 25th, 1957, and this time under federal troop escort, the 9 students completed their first day of school, and they got into the school. But once they got into the school, they were harassed and called names, disrespected, and all kind of things, and no one did anything about it until they started complaining. They were kicked, shoved, again, like I said, called names. So after complaining and letting people know how they were being treated, the students were assigned troops to escort them around school. And one day, Melba Patilio, of the 9 students, she had acid thrown in her eyes. And just imagining having acid thrown in your eyes, that just shows you how they did not want these students in their school, and how disrespectful and hateful they were towards the 9 students. Minnie Jean Brown, she was the first and the last of the 9 students to be kicked out of school and expelled from school. One day she got into it with some of the students, and she got tired of the students calling her names, picking on her, and doing things, so she dropped a hot bowl of chili on 2 of the students' heads. Well, they kicked her out of school, so she was not able to get her diploma from Central High, and she ended up getting her diploma from Lincoln High, another high school in the county. The outcome of Little Rock 9 was on May 27th, 1957, when Ernest Green was the first black student to ever graduate from Little Rock 9, and Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, all these people attended his graduation because they wanted to show their support and how strong these students were and how they stood up and fought for what they believed in. And in that case, he was the first to graduate from that school. The other 8 were forced, after he graduated, the other 8 were forced to attend other schools around the county because they shut the school down because they did not want the segregation. So they either took courses at other schools or they end up just having to go to another school far out from what they were trying to do. So, I mean, they did all this came from hatred and them not wanting to go to school. In conclusion, the young, remarkable African students challenged segregation in the Deep South, even though it was a horrible experience for them to experience. Even though being rejected time after time when we were trying to go to school and get into the school, they were being harassed and discriminated against and overcoming the unthinkable. As scared as the non-students were, they stood strong and fought for what they believed in. They never gave up. Even when times were hard, they stuck together and helped each other out. They made waves in the civil rights movement and brought segregation to the forefronts of people's mind. In the end, the students all went off to college and they got a diploma, and they didn't know it then, but in today's society they helped us build the school systems and fought for segregation, and schools became desegregated, and today we have all schools are segregated, so desegregated. So in that process, thank you for taking your time out for reading this and watching this video. I hope you learned something today about Little right now. Thank you. Bye.